Yo, 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 yo.
Yo, yo,
Can you hear
yo.
me?
I can hear you, yeah. Alright, I'm
Yeah, I think
recording
it
now.
might.
I'm recording now.
All right, hell yeah.
Yep.
Welcome back, brother.
Welcome back to On Computer Games. The return of On Computer Games, actually. It's been,
The return.
what, 2 to 3 years, actually.
Has it been? That hasn't been. It's been 2 to 3 years since the inception. It's been a year and a half since the
Since the
demise.
dissolution of On Computer Games. Yeah, it has, I guess. About a year and a half.
Hmm.
It has. So I came up with some things to talk about. I already sent you the general gist of it. I have all the stuff related to
You
this.
sent me a photo, is what you sent me. You sent me a photo.
It's not a
with some
photo.
pictures
That's
on it.
technically incorrect. It's
I got a photograph.
an image. Look at this photograph.
That's what I received. I received a photograph. Nothing else. A hastily assembled image. A cryptic photograph.
It took
is
me
what
at
I
least 20
received.
minutes to make the image, and that's the image that's showing on the recording right now. You know, just like the classic days when we had that big image at the beginning. And I'm also playing
said game
Gustaberg
time.
by Final Fantasy XI from Music Box on my Ubuntu operating system desktop.
Oh hell yeah!
The power station, as I call it. You know, no, I don't call it that. That's the first time I've ever called it that. So the topics we're going to go over are one. Let me just get rid of the banner and fade out the music very dramatically and serenely. Oh, look at that.
I'm gonna put you on hold.
Look at that. Look at that. The topics that we got today are here. Those are the topics. The return of On Computer Games. This is the first topic.
That's better.
Yeah, that looks great. You're doing a great bang up job. The second topic is Dragon Ball.
Mm-hmm.
Just in general, the franchise. A few starter questions to get us kicked off, and then the Great Gatsby.
Okay.
I believe we both read that recently, or I mean, I read it last year, maybe like mid last year. I mean, you've probably read it a few times, so I think there's things we can talk about related to that. So just to make the stream not totally retarded, you know, because it's gonna get dumb quick with Dragon Ball. You know, it's gonna get very dumb. So yeah. So topics: the return of On Computer Games, Dragon Ball, the Great Gatsby. Cool. So yeah, let's start it off. First of all, let's introduce you. I don't know what name you're going by anymore in your On Computer Games writing lineage. So you should clarify that before we go on.
All right. I didn't. Yeah, that wasn't on the list. Like,
or it could serve as an introduction. Yeah.
But I've written some of the articles. I went by D on some of it. Yeah. My favorite nickname is probably Pablo. Mm-hmm. But I don't know if I wrote any articles under that.
I was watching the old videos and I actually referred to you as Pablo, so I think there was at some point, you know.
We'll go by that then. That sounds really good.
Okay.
Sounds pretty cool.
Okay. I think
I will give my full name and social security number sometime in the future.
That's great. That's a great incentive for our viewers. I appreciate that. That really adds a level of sticking around.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I will.
I appreciate that. I had to pause this music. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I guess do a brief introduction since it's been so long. So Pablo is your name, supposedly. Soon you will be giving your social security number and full name. So.
An address.
Let me make a note of that, actually.
And all the card numbers, and all the 3 little digits. You can have all of them. We'll put them all up here.
All right, that's good. You have to call your bank and make sure that they don't do the whole like, oh, if somebody does a transaction in like Spain, like it automatically blocks it. So you have to turn that off because I mean the only reason people would want that information is to steal your identity and credit card information and make purchases.
Yeah, how about this? If we can get 47 viewers, then I'll turn that shit off. I will turn all the protections off. I will turn all the card protections off. I will give the numbers. And you can buy 5 to 7 Nintendo Switch 2s. You'll be able to have like several.
Gives you a rough estimate of how much money you have in your bank account. Or credit limit. I don't know which one. I don't know which one you're referring to.
Probably credit limit. Probably. I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot to my name.
I see. Okay.
I'll gladly pay off the Switch 2s of the viewers.
All right. But yeah, you still have not done an introduction. So.
Okay, my name is Pablo. This is the name of me. Mm-hmm. And I've written some articles on the games website, a few of them. I like to yo. I like to throw down the yo. I'm currently workshopping a anti-drug routine that incorporates yo-yo tricks. And I'm hoping to join the No Hate Tour. That's a BMX bike transnational no bullying tour. And I think that if they add a yo-yo / anti-narcotic section, that it would benefit them and it would benefit me. So that's what I've got going on. So to recapitulate here, Pablo, written a few articles, Yo Champ in the making, No Hate Tour 2027.
Nice. Just say no, I think is what they told us back in middle school and high school. Just say no to drugs. I mean, I had this conversation with my daughter the other day. She like wants to drink energy drinks like all the fucking time. Like it's like cool for kids her age, 12-year-olds to drink energy drinks, and like we won't let her drink energy drinks. And she's like, "Why? Why can't I just have one? I won't drink them all the time. I just want one." And I'm like, "Yeah, like let me just say like, oh, I'm just going to smoke one cigarette. Like, let me see how that goes, She's like, "I can control it." And I'm like, "Not even freaking like Buddhist monks can control their fucking mind to a perfect degree. Like if you can control your mind, if you can control your mind, like please, like just you don't need to go to school anymore. Just like start teaching people how you're doing this. Like I would really love to know." She's getting into this. I'm getting off topic. She's getting into this thing where she's like, the other day she was like being kind of rude to her brother, and I was like, imagine how you would feel like if you were that age and you were like that to him, or if he was like that to you. And she was like, I wouldn't know. I wasn't even conscious until I was 5. I'm like, what does that have to do? What does that have to do with anything, man?
That's a smart girl. Yeah, he's basically not conscious, so just do whatever you want to.
Right, it's just free game. Totally. She solved all the problems of ethics is with that argument. My retort is, of course, like, you're not even conscious right now. Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. And I'm like, there's a good argument that I'm not even conscious. Like, I can make arguments that I'm not. Like, So, yeah, that's funny. Okay, so thank you for the introduction. I'm sorry for getting off track. I'll give my introduction now. My name is Forrest. I am the co-creator of On Computer Games, and which was started in 2023. As a project to write about video games, while exclusively calling them computer games for reasons that we will not explain. And write about it sounds based. Write about the games, but also, interweave cool shit into the writing. That's basically it. And the cool shit can be whatever we want it to be. So don't hold us to anything. Don't come at us with like, this isn't cool shit. Cool shit's subjective, okay? It could be anything.
It's barely about the games, really. The games are really are second fiddle to the musings, I think.
That's right. The best essays and articles on our website on computer.games are barely about computer games, although they seem to be about computer games. They're not.
Check them out.
Case in point, look at the Final Fantasy 13 essay.
Yeah.
That was exclusively about Final Fantasy 13.
It'll tell you all you need to know if you want to play that game or not. You read that, and you will know. You will know the quality of that game.
That's the best example of our work.
It's all there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the best example of our work. If you have questions, just go read the fucking article. I'm not going to explain anything to you.
I won't answer shit. I'm not answering anything at all.
I will not take feedback unless it's just exclusively positive.
Yeah.
In which case
I'll accept praise is what I will do. Anything else I'm not going to read. I'm going to forget about, or I'm going to like bitch about. I'm not tolerate it.
I'm going to come up with a bunch of excuses if you criticize my crap, and it's going to turn into you are the idiot, not me.
So if you don't like it,
don't even try it.
Problem. It's not me. It's not my fucking fault that you don't get it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, I've written several articles for On Computer Games, many of which are total garbage. Some of which are okay. There's maybe one good one that I've written on there.
Couple good ones. Yeah, maybe for sure.
But we do this for fun. We don't ask for money. We don't ask for donations. If we start asking for donations, shoot me in the face. Shoot me in the face, but that would also be fine. Okay, if we do start asking for donations, don't criticize us because we can't handle that. But we won't start asking.
I will never ask for donations. I will never. You can shoot my son in the face, my small little child. If I ask for money, you can shoot my family. You can kill my family, the entire family.
Okay.
I cannot allow.
Let me take note of that as well. Let me take note of that as well.
But I'm saying I don't fucking mind. Like if I debase myself by asking for your money to write the garbage that I write, then fucking kill anything that I love.
Yeah, and if I happen to ask for money for the garbage that I write and that Pablo also writes, and you gave me money, then there's something wrong with you, not me. Yeah. Because why would you pay me to write the garbage that I'm writing? You know?
Don't give me money. I don't need your fucking money. No, take your money and put it into the gas tank. Right, that shit's going up. The gas prices are going up. Put it into the tank. Don't give it to me. I'm gonna spend it on DBZ stuff. Like, don't give it to me.
Yeah, I will also spend it on DBZ stuff eventually down the road at some point. Maybe not right now, but I would. He's also offering to give you all of his credit card information and socials and turn off all protections on his bank account. So I think if anybody's serious, it's fucking Pablo here. Is serious about what he's saying right now. Okay, so that's the ethos of On Computer Games. We write. We don't take money. We do this for funsies and for ego boosts. I think those are the main two reasons. That's it. We also do it because I think we both love writing. I especially love writing. I think it's incredibly fun. I think writing is like a tabula rasa of just, do whatever the fuck you want. You can put whatever you want there and create anything, anything you want.
Yeah.
On a blank piece of paper or digital paper. And I find it incredibly fun. But I also like video games, and I hate video games as well. I have a love-hate relationship with video games. On the one hand, I think they're, I'm going to say childish. That's not the right word, but they suck away my time from doing better things with my life. But I can't stop playing them, Sometimes I'll be like, I'm not going to play game. I'm going to write for the next week, and I'm not going to play any games. And I don't know what happens, but when my son goes to bed, I get in my office and for some reason I'm playing a fucking game. Something happens in my head, and I have totally justified how the games are fine, right? And maybe they are fine. There's arguments to be made that they're fine. They probably are fine, but I have this sort of dissonance in my head about video games, and causes me all sorts of angst. I write about that constantly in the articles as well. So yeah, I hate video games. I also love video games, and I love writing. So I think On Computer Games, just to give everybody a brief overview of what we do, is that we write about video games because we fucking hate video games and we can't stop playing them. And I think that's the summary of On Computer Games.
Yeah, I think that fits perfect. I think that's perfect. I think to piggyback a little bit, writing I think is a catchphrase I like to have sometimes at my job is, as I say, talk is dirty, but writing is clean. right? Because writing takes a kind of like purification process of thought that's like, I don't know. I honestly don't particularly love writing. It's sometimes like an arduous task for me, and
Me too.
I have high standards, so I don't like it. But it is the only way to refine like my thought, right? So if I want to connect with another human being, I need to refine that thought, and I think the best way is writing it down and revising that writing. So um, I think that's super important. And then to the second point about video games, I mean, you got to have an outlet, right? You got to have an entry point um, into existence, right? And I think that most people exist right at this. I don't know. We interact with this like cultural sphere, and so video games are a brilliant point of entry, right? If I have a deep problem with reality, and I can play a Zelda game or a Final Fantasy game, and use that to articulate some kind of like unique feeling, then that's really, really cool, I think. And that's what our website has tried to do.
Yeah,
I
agree.
But at the same time, um, I don't know, the same like dissonance, the same like cognitive problems with video games, right? Because they're just corporate, they're just cartoons, really.
Yeah, they're the equivalent of cartoons, essentially. Yeah, I would agree with that. But they are a good outlet, and I agree. Like if you could interweave like your bullshit, your philosophy, your feelings, your memories into the game, or anything, you could replace the word games there with like books or TV or like anything that you're experiencing. Fucking rocks. Like maybe you like rocks, you know.
Yeah.
You know, like this smooth
I like,
rock
yeah.
is like, you know, my smooth trip to, I don't know, Bermuda last summer, where I got mugged. If you can write an essay on that, like,
Yeah.
and make it
Yeah.
work, that's awesome. And that's why writing is amazing, right? So I agree with everything you said. Okay. Well, awesome. So the first topic that we have today, other than that, is well, first we're still on the return to on computer games. So why did it go first? Why did it go anywhere to begin with? Is what is the question I have here.
I don't know. I don't know. I was drinking heavily. And I was feeling quite argumentative, right? And yeah, that was that's my thoughts on it. I was drinking heavily and I was looking for a fight.
Yeah, I mean, I was too. I was drinking back then. I think we just got too competitive, and I mean, I'm an asshole too, or I was especially an asshole back then. I've only recently learned how to deal with my assholeness. So basically, we got into fights, and like we decided to stop doing it, um, and that was it.
And I'm
That
like
was a viewer
a
question, so that wasn't. I didn't write that much.
I think I'm like a what they call an avoidant personality type. So like when conflict arises, a lot of times my response is to like just disappear, right? It's to just fucking like go away from the conflict. So
Hmm.
I think another big contributor to the dissolution of OCG was my okay, if I'm gonna have a problem with somebody, I'm just gonna go big and disappear. You know, that's kind of how I go about things. And then of course, uh I don't know if it's quite the moment to go into this, but then I have a personal life where I have a son and I had a wife, and then that stuff went away as well. So that kind of like helped bring it back together. But I had a hell of a year with a lot of problems. 2024 was a pretty difficult year for me,
Yeah,
but
I
a
mean,
good year.
I have
With
all
one of them.
sorts of questions about that, but I won't ask any. No, I actually will ask one. Do you think OCG and your time that you committed to OCG and the level of seriousness that you afforded it, like impacted your relationship at all or dissolution of
No,
your
I
marriage?
honestly think that that OCG, that my time writing essays and playing video games was some of the greatest times of my life, and it only benefited me. I really believe that. I think
I do too,
that's
actually.
true.
I do too. I think I did. I think I did neglect a few things doing that, but not really, not that much. I still did everything I needed to do. I still spent time with my family, so not really. I think like OCG, what OCG did to me was like, I had always liked writing. I had stopped for a very long time. I think it just like rekindled the flame of writing in me, and like the early shit that I ever did, like even the first shit I did for a year is not any good. And I think like now it's like barely any good. It's like better. It's like much better. I've gotten much better as a writer because of OCG. Period.
Right.
Just period. Am I great at it? I don't think so, but like it's better than it was, and I can see that it's better than it was. I understand grammar better. I understand structure better. I understand, how to tell a story better. I understand how to make a paragraph go into another paragraph without it seeming like a fucking non sequitur. Which is like if you go back to like every other one of my, that's what it seems like. That's what I'm just fucking all over the place, right? This is like basic shit that I picked up just by writing constantly for OCG. So I really appreciate it in that way, and I think and I think you probably agree with this as well, considering your profession. But I think learning how to become a better writer helps you in like everything in modern life. One, I think it helps you straighten out your thoughts on things. Like I'm not a great talker, I'm not a great speaker. I can write a lot better than I can speak, and I can be a lot more articulate in writing than I can when I'm speaking. But I don't think I like fully understood some of the stuff that I believed until I started writing about it and putting it to paper and really like melding it and like trying to make it make sense when I was writing it out. You know? I don't know if you've ever had that experience when you're writing something and you're writing something like a claim, and then like a paragraph later you write something and you think like what I'm writing now like directly contradicts what I just wrote like 2 paragraphs ago. Like if you think about it in terms of like logical consistency. Like I made this claim up here and now I'm kind of contradicting myself down here. I don't know, maybe I'm getting off track, but like you notice these things and you try to correct them. I think when you put them down on paper, maybe. I don't know.
I think that goes back to that idea of like, I don't know, writing is like a refinement of your thought, right? So of course it's going to be like that. But I agree. I think that's one of the strengths of writing. That's one of the benefits of it. A lot of people don't like writing. I think as a result, a lot of people don't have like very strong thoughts.
Yeah.
I think if you're gonna believe something, but you can't be asked to like sit down and write a paper about it, then I don't know if I can even trust you to like to have like really thought about it. Like in today's modern world, right, where like literacy is given to everyone that wants it. There's no reason to not be able to write it down.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point, I think. I mean, we live in a world where like people claim to believe so much shit and they claim to know a lot of shit too. But like how many of them could truly write even like a 1,000 word essay on what they believe and make it logically consistent? Like I doubt many of them, maybe 10%, maybe 10%.
Not even to really do. I'm gonna say the amount of people that can write something decently, it's probably like 2 to 3%. I bet maybe one.
This depends on like where we're setting the bar. Like if we say decently, like do we even fall into that? Like what is the bar?
We're way over the bar.
I agree. I agree, frankly. No, yeah. It does sound egotistical when you talk about it this way, though. Like not you, but both of us. Like, oh, if you can't write your thoughts, then you're a fucking idiot, moron, dumbass. So we don't need to take you seriously. But we can. We can do it. We're the intellectual powerhouses here. I don't know. I often feel
like,
this way.
Okay, like if there's a person, like there could be some yogi in fucking like Nepal who's like illiterate, who can have some depth of thought, like some way, somehow. But like, I mean, like in America, in the United States, if you're like a 45-year-old, like born and raised American person and you can't write a goddamn like 3 paragraph fucking treatment of a thought, then I do think I do think there's something wrong with you. It's not about being elitist or anything. But I think that's what it takes. I think to really, back to what we were saying in the beginning, like to really refine a thought, I guess it doesn't have to take writing. The writing is one of the most, if not the most, like expedient way to do it.
Yeah, and writing is like super transformative to the mind too, like to other people. You could like
Yeah.
probably argue that like writing has brought about the most fucking change in society ever. Like from the moment when was it? Like the Sumerians started writing or something, and that's the first record we have of it. Um, from that, like how did people transmit their ideas truly before then? Just gathering around a campfire and just hoping that 10 people heard it, and then those 10 people told 10 other people, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
When the first book was written, like that's probably what is the first book? Do you know? Like what is considered like canonically in the lore of the earth? Like the first book. Do you know?
Maybe Gilgamesh, I think is like the
Is it?
oldest. Maybe.
I have a copy of that
I
actually.
think,
It's
I
been
think
like
Gilgamesh is
translated to
considered the
hell.
oldest. Yeah, I think Gilgamesh, I think, is the oldest like recorded, like some kind of writing.
And that is a Sumerian text?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I think so too.
Sumerian.
Yeah. An epic poem, Sumerian. I haven't read it. I have a copy of it. I haven't read it. What I know about Gilgamesh is that he comes from the void.
I know Enkidu. I know he's got a dog named
Yeah,
Enkidu.
Enkidu, yeah.
And there's a flood. That's all I know about the Epic of Gilgamesh. That's all I know.
Oh,
I know he's got a bunch of swords. He's got Titus's sword. He's got the Brotherhood. If you
yeah.
fight him in FF12,
Yeah, he's got the gun blade. He's got the fucking gun
yeah,
blade. Um,
he's got all the good shit.
hmm His
Um,
music rocks. It's fucking
he's,
rad ass,
he's badass.
Yeah, Battle
That's
on the
what I
Great
know
Bridge.
about Gilgamesh. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. The next question I had here was, what was the impetus to bring it back? It meaning OCG.
Well, I think you approached me with it, but it just seems like the natural evolution of things.
Yeah, I think so too. I think I mean I've done a lot of writing since OCG stopped, but I mean out of all of them, OCG, even when OCG stopped, like I was still writing OCG for a while. Um,
Mhm.
and it's like this sounds ridiculous, but this is like my only fucking legacy. And this is what it feels like.
You think on computer games?
Yeah, I think it's like, I mean, other than my children and shit, but like it feels more meaningful to me than like my real work, which seems totally devoid of meaning to me. Selling like software and supporting software is stupid. Like that has no impact on society, and it has no intellectual merit whatsoever. If anything, you could argue that it's hurting society. I won't get into all that right now, but like so like having a written record of everything I've written on computer games feels like a legacy of sorts. I feel like if like my son, if he grew up and he read it, he could understand me on some level. And
Yeah.
I think like if I disappeared today, like I've left some sort of legacy as to how I think and feel, and I just don't disappear into the ether of like, forgotten souls or whatever. And then also the fact is like it feels like a I don't know, not a community, but it feels like it feels meaningful in a way, not only because it's just me wanking, because when we stopped OCG, I was writing by myself for a long time. I still did it, but it feels more meaningful when we're like partnering together and we're working together because nobody really reads my shit. Like, so like you're probably the only person. You're like there's a few other people who like sometimes read my stuff. You're the only person that like really reads my stuff, and I'm probably the only person that reads your stuff, at least as of now.
Yeah.
There's something good about like the partnership aspect of it, I think. Um,
And it's just a really cool fucking it's a really cool computer games website, I think. Um There's nothing like it. I don't think there's nothing like it that exists at all.
Yeah, I think so.
I
I
know if
haven't
I
found
had
it.
found a website like this, like when I was like fucking like 16, I would have thought it was the coolest shit ever. I think I would have.
Yeah, I probably would have too.
I honestly think like your Breath of the Wild treatment is like the best fucking Breath of the Wild treatment that exists on the internet. I think. Like, if you're gonna read a review of the Breath of the Wild, you should read the one on computer games. I don't think you should read any other. Any other one is gonna be garbage, like absolute fucking garbage compared to what you've done.
That's high praise, my friend. I don't know about that, but I mean,
Well, what are you gonna do? You're gonna go to IGN. You're gonna fucking IGN and read their fucking Breath of the Wild shit where they're like, "Oh, you collect the garbage." Like, no, no. You go read Breath of the Now, and you can understand something about that game. I think if you want to like that game, the only way to like that game is to read your article on it. If you don't read your
or
article on it,
play it and like feel that way without reading the article. I think that's the. I mean, we could
of
get into
course,
Breath
yeah,
of the Wild, but like, yeah, I mean, but like Breath of the Now is not supposed to just be like a like a Breath of the Wild review. It's a like it borders on that at some points, right? Like where it tries to, but like it really just wanted to talk about my thoughts on Zen. That's all that I wanted to do. And that's what I
yeah.
did. So that's what I would want people to read it for more so than the Breath of the Wild part is like the Zen part. Um,
But that's what's gonna get them in. Probably is the Breath of the Wild part.
yeah,
And they get hoodwinked into like being taken into a completely new way of being. Right. That's the
right.
beautiful thing about it.
Get hoodwinked. Yes, I like that word. Get fucking hoodwinked into Zen propaganda. One of the problems that I have with the Breath of the Wild essay, and this is a problem I have with a lot of my essays, and I'm trying to get better at this, and I've done this a little bit in my journal and stuff with like shorter stuff, is like it just feels too prescriptive and it feels too preachy. It's just like you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. Um, I don't necessarily like writing that way because I feel like it makes me seem like an egotistical dickwad, like that I know all the fucking answers. And I put that in there in the essay too, that exact sentiment just to deflect that criticism immediately. But I mean, I still do it in the essay. So it's like I would
Right.
more rather just like people to, the perfect essay to me for on computer games is probably one that has the video game shit and it has the philosophy shit, but it doesn't tell you outright like this is the right way or this is like probably the right way. It just like leads you into thinking and coming to your own conclusion that perhaps this is the right way, without somebody banging you over
Yeah.
the head with it. And I have a problem banging people over the head with shit, and I don't like that. And it's very hard not to like when you believe something to be true and you believe it to be correct. It's very hard not to, you know. It's actually
Yeah.
against Zen Buddhism to begin with, or at least certain teachings to like even do what I did in that essay, to be frank. Like one of the precepts like that I was reading the other day is like do not like fucking insist that your belief system is right ever.
Right.
Like and I believe that as well, so I don't fully, whatever. Breath of the Wild essay. Go read it. It's probably one of my better essays, I agree. Go read it. It's cool. Um, all right. What was the impetus to bring back on computer games? Because we wanted to, because it was dope, because it feels meaningful, etc. Okay. We're at the 30-minute mark. That's wonderful. We've done this for 30 minutes. Cool. Um, all right. 30-minute mark. All right. The next topic that we had, which is we're getting into the real topics here, is Dragon Ball.
Oh my
So
God. Okay.
yeah, so to totally shift gears for a second into Dragon Ball. Um, sorry if it looks like I'm not paying attention sometimes. It's because I'm making a time note on my phone because I don't want to have to go back and listen to this and make the fucking chapters, again. I'm just going to do it here. So at 33 minutes, we started talking about Dragon Ball. Um, all right, Dragon Ball. I know you recently, at least very recently, you've been very much into Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I've been hyper Dragon Ball for the past like 5 weeks or so. Playing Dragon Ball right now. I'm playing Dragon Ball Sparking Zero right this second.
Can you shift the camera a little bit to show our friends?
Oh, can you see it all?
I can, yeah. Also note the self-portrait. It's not a self-portrait, but portrait of Pablo himself in his living room. As if there is anything less vain in the world. It's like going into the fucking White House. I'm just joking with you. I'm just fucking with you. I know it has special meaning to you. I'm just fucking joking with you. I'm sorry. It was low hanging.
No, it is like the White House. It is very Trumpian. It's very, very. The picture of me.
So I had some questions.
Dragon Ball right now.
Yeah, I had some questions to get us started. So what got you back into Dragon Ball recently?
I'm trying to remember exactly what started it. For some reason, I wanted to like watch some Dragon Ball Super because I've never like finished Dragon Ball Super. I never watched like even most of it, or even I've seen like 15 episodes of DB Super. And I'm an old head, an old head DB guy. Fucking born in 1991. So I thought I should watch it. So I started watching a little bit, and I'm a teacher, right? So like some of my kids in school, I've got a Dragon Ball Super poster like in my classroom, and some of the kids were talking about it. And I don't know, just had a couple months just watching the Dragon Ball Super on Crunchyroll, and I bought Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and just having fun, like a little bit of nostalgia, thinking about the characters that I loved when I was like 9, 10, 11 years old, and it's, yeah, one of the greatest cartoons ever made, I think. For sure.
Yeah, I would agree with that, I think. I remember one summer when we were in high school. It might have been when we got out of high school, but I think it was one summer when I spent some of the summer with you. We watched Dragon Ball, and it was your DVDs in my room. I think we stayed up like all night one night, and we were watching I think it was the Saiyan saga or something. You remember that night? We stayed up
I think
all
so.
night, and we were like watching that. I don't know what else we were doing. We were probably doing drugs of some sort, like we were doing.
Probably.
Yeah, like we
I
were
think I
doing
still got the DVDs. I still got
Just
those
say
same
no.
DVDs.
Just say no. But
Just say no.
you had the DVDs, yeah, and it was the Saiyan saga. I think we were watching that. I'll say I probably wouldn't be into anime. I'm not even that big into anime. I can't watch most anime. It makes me cringe and I can't take it seriously. But I probably wouldn't have ever gotten into anime or anything like that at all if it was not for Dragon Ball.
Yeah. There was some kind of turn when I was a little kid. There was some kind of turn from watching like Pokemon and like SpongeBob to like watching Dragon Ball. I don't know. I can vaguely remember like fourth grade, like Dragon Ball Z coming on TV and like not liking it and like not really paying attention to it to like all of a sudden like there was one day where it like just all of a sudden clicked, right? And like me and all my friends and everybody at school, like we were watching Dragon Ball Z every fucking day, and it felt like kind of a mature turn at the time, because I was watching like these,
Like Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny and Powerpuff Girls and shit.
Anthropomorphic. Yeah, it was like, okay, these are like grown men like fighting each other. And yeah, I think DBZ, the older I get, right, I do think DBZ is one of the more formative. Like, fuck, man. Like, honestly, when I think of some of the more corporate franchises that I've loved in my life, like Harry Potter and Pokemon and some of the other shit that I've loved, Final Fantasy even, like DBZ might rival Final Fantasy. Like, I think DBZ is one of the like franchises that if I'm gonna like fucking sublimate myself up to like the corporate capitalistic fucking sphere, like DBZ is where I want to be, right? I want to be hanging out with Goku and Gohan. Like, if I'm gonna be spending some money somewhere, like give me a fucking DBZ shit, right? Give me fucking Gohan on a t-shirt. That's what I want. Yeah.
Interesting. I don't remember when I got into it. I think it was when I was really young. I must have been like 9 or 10. It was because of Toonami or on Cartoon Network or wherever it 1st came on is when I first saw it, of course. I remember watching the Frieza saga. I think that's when I started, like when it like the Frieza saga was playing. That's when I started seriously watching it. I don't know what year that was.
Yeah.
Um, but that's when I was watching it when it was actually airing. The Frieza saga was actually airing legit, you know, episode after episode every day or every week. I don't know what the air cycle was for Toonami or whatever it was called back there. I remember Goku going Super Saiyan for the first time. I thought that was dope as hell. I thought it was so cool. Um, and that scene is really good when he's like in Namek fighting Frieza and he goes Super Saiyan for the first time. He like looks a lot cooler than he ever does ever again as a Super Saiyan.
Ever again,
And he's got that like pose where he's like looking up a little bit and he like looks pissed. He looks like righteous fury, you know, like Frieza, you know, like Frieza kills herself with his own kills himself with his own disc.
I love like I have a lot of great memories for DBZ because like I remember watching the Namek saga like over and over again. And I remember early like internet days too. So at the same time I'm watching the Namek saga like over and over. But I'm reading online about like this guy called Cell and like different Super Saiyan levels. And like I'm not seeing any of this shit on Toonami. Right.
And there's like so much mystery involved in it. It's like what?
Yeah.
Like, you know.
It brought a really like a very real mystery to it, right? And so to the point that like I think for me and for you and probably for thousands of kids our age, like that moment when like DBZ came back and like Metal Frieza and Trunks and stuff, it hit so hard, right? Because like we had heard about this stuff happening, and to finally like witness it like day to day on Toonami, it was I don't know. One of the most nostalgic experiences of my life, I think. Yeah, Dragon Ball is top tier. Like DBZ is, in my opinion, it's top tier shit. Like it's just so fucking good. And maybe it could have been something else. Like maybe it would have been another TV show in an alternate, universe for me as a child. But for me, in 1999, 2000, it was DBZ coming on fucking Toonami that like some of the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, I mean, I would look forward to it like every day. Like when I was in elementary school, like DBZ's coming on. I'm gonna watch it when I get home. I would get pissed when I couldn't watch it. I would get upset. To add to the mystery thing, like I was in the same camp. When I was watching, the Namek or Frieza saga or whatever you want to call it, and hearing about like Super Saiyan 2 and Super Saiyan 3 and then like Super Saiyan 4, like and shit like that. Yeah. And I had a computer when I was younger. When I lived with my mom, especially, I had a computer in my own room, and I would be looking up stuff like Super Saiyan 5, which isn't even fucking real. Yeah. Like, super, like Dragon Ball AF, right? And like, people were like, oh, that is real. And back then in like the internet days, like, you don't fucking know, like, you don't know what's real.
I feel like maybe
that is real. Like, I can't watch
other shit. Yeah.
I can't wait to watch Dragon Ball AF, but I had an added level to it because there was a store where I used to live in Atlanta called Swap USA, which is like an import store that was owned by like a Japanese family. And I would go to the store all the time. My mom would, after school, sometimes she would go get her nails done, and it was in the same strip mall as her nail salon, like literally right next to it in the block. And I would go and I would just hang out at Swap USA the whole time my mom was getting her nails done at this, nail salon. And the Japanese guys, they spoke terrible English. But I would just like look at the stuff. I'd see all the PS1 games, but they had a whole section for like import toys. This is where I'm getting somewhere. And they had a bunch of import like Dragon Ball toys from Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball GT, right? So not only would I read about it, I would also see like a toy of Super Saiyan 4 Goku, and be like, this is the coolest shit ever. And Broly, which I hadn't seen the movie because that wasn't released in English at that time. I got my mom to buy me this shit. So I actually had like a bunch of these import toys of Dragon Ball characters like Super Saiyan 4, Goku, Vegeta, Broly, before I had ever seen any of the shit, right? So I don't know where I'm going with that, but it's just like, it just kind of ties in with the fact that like what we had was very different from what was out, and there was a level of intrigue and mystery to it, especially to a young child who was like, I don't know, and it's like, to me, for some reason, it was super aesthetically pleasing, and I think we should analyze why. At least, I think we should analyze that for a second. Like, why is it aesthetically pleasing? Like Goku, first of all, the animation style and what he looks like looks like nothing else in Western animation, right? Because it's anime, right? It looks like nothing else. So when you see it the first time as a child, you're like, whoa, holy shit, like this is totally different from the cartoons, right? You're thinking of it as a cartoon that I've ever seen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the spiky hair, like what is so appealing about the spiky hair? There's obviously something appealing about it. But what is the appeal? Is it some sort of weird phallic thing? I have no idea. But like it might be, right? I have no idea if it like taps into some primal instinctual, like, I don't know, atavistic urge or something. I have no idea.
There's something about like, I don't know. It's not completely the answer. I mean, when I think in my head about some of those like classic Toriyama images, right, with like Goku and like Bulma and like Capsule Core stuff, like I don't know, Toriyama's art style is just like, I don't know. There's just something really, I don't know, elusive about it, right? It's something really, something that draws people towards it. But at the same time, um, there's also something about something with black hair turning yellow, right? Or like turning yellow in general, right? It's a very similar feeling to like Sonic going supersonic, right? There's something to like this golden, like white inflammation that, I don't know, young boys.
I just can't like help thinking about like the sexual aspect to this right now for some reason. You probably know this, but like I think Supersonic. I was confused as to which one inspired which, but I think Supersonic was actually inspired by Goku.
I think so. I think it comes
Not the other way
after,
around.
at least.
Yeah, it comes after, and I think it was a direct inspiration if I remember correctly. To your point, I think Akira Toriyama's art style, his like aesthetic and like his just general style is like very nice to look at. It's clean. I would call it very clean. Um, I would call it probably the quintessential anime art style. You know,
I
like
mean, it's one of the best like anime art styles of all time, if not the best. I mean, he's got such a unique style.
it's
I
quite
can't think of
limiting
it.
though when you think about it. Like, when he draws for other series, like Dragon Quest, for example, or like Chrono
Right.
Trigger, or like Blue Dragon, like every character is like some variation of like fucking Trunks or Goku or Krillin or Tapion or
That's
Oob,
true. Or
you know?
Tapion, or yeah, or Oob, yeah. It's the Mohawk sometimes. It's
Right.
Piccolo, or it's Goku, or it's Tapion. That's the
Right.
three that he has.
Yeah. I think what he does, I think what Kiriyama liked to do back in the day, and I think he excelled at this. I think he was limited in how he could draw people. I think he had like a very, I don't know, narrow scope on how he drew humanoid-like people. And I think he had more fun, or at least had more creativity when he was drawing like aliens. I don't like particularly
Yeah.
how a lot of his aliens look, but like he has like so many different variants of different weird ass aliens. Like if you like look up his
Yeah.
shit, and he drew, I think, all of the monster designs for Dragon Quest, and other games and other series. So he has like a wild imagination when it comes to like inhuman shit, I think. But with humans, he seems a little limited. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's Trunks or it's Goku or yeah, he's got a handful or Tapion.
Yeah, yeah.
Even like I've seen like some shit where like I saw a picture and it was like either Trunks or Goku from like the Android saga.
Mm-hmm.
And like it could have been either one. Like I really don't know which one it was. Like even to this day, like I don't fucking know which one it was. It could have been Super Saiyan Goku, could have been
Yeah.
Super Saiyan Trunks. It fucking looked exactly the same. But it's still like so like recognizably his style that
It
like
is. This is just me knocking on somebody who has way more talent and fucking creativity than I do in terms of artistically and in the drawing space or whatever. So it's
I mean
just
I
me
think
being
he's
an
as good
asshole,
as like
frankly.
I think he's as good as like a Salvador Dali, right? Like Salvador Dali, like all his shit looks the same. It's like melting clocks and shit, right? But like in the same way, I think Toriyama deserves to be mentioned in the same sentence as like any white person, for sure.
Yeah, probably. I agree.
That's like
Toriyama
Dragon Ball
Sam.
rule.
Toriyama-san. Yeah, let me make a note of this in the timestamp. I can actually pause the recording on this, so we should pause the recording and take a short break and then come back.
Right.
What are we talking about? Nostalgic ramblings. Toriyama. Yeah. All right, let me pause it real quick. I'm going to pause it. So if you're watching this later on, all 2-3 people who are going to watch this, there might be an abrupt shift or something, when I get back, when I unpause the recording. So, all right, it's going to pause right now. All right, we're back after the abrupt pause. Okay. Let me see what the other bit was. Okay, I had another question for you about Dragon Ball.
Yep.
How much have you rewatched? When did you start rewatching Dragon Ball, and how much have you watched of the entire series so far?
So in the past 5 weeks, I've watched all of Dragon Ball Super. I've finished Dragon Ball Super. I've seen about half of Daima, and I've rewatched some of the Android and Boo saga. That's what I've seen in the past 6 weeks.
Okay. Yeah, I like the Android saga a lot. I like it better than when Cell gets involved. Actually, the whole portion of the time travel ship.
Yeah.
And all that is interesting. Hold on, is it still recording? Yeah, it is. Okay. I like
any of that. I love any of that pale yellow Saiyan stuff, right? Looks like Trunks and Gohan going Super Saiyan, the hyperbolic time chamber stuff. All that stuff's really cool. Android 17 and 18 are cool. I like the Boo saga as well, though. I like Super Saiyan 3, and I like Vegito and Gotenks and the Fusion and Kibito Kai and all that.
I think that's cool. I think the Boo saga goes on a little too long, and it's drawn out and weird. I think Vegito's really cool. Vegito's my favorite. Maybe if he's considered a character, which I do think he is, he's probably considered one of my he's probably one of my favorite characters. I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's a great character.
He's got a simple design. His personality is great because he's a perfect mix of Goku and Vegeta. He's playfully I don't know, arrogant and funny, and he'll toy around with you.
Yeah.
But he can also switch into this very serious I'm Goku and I'm mad kind of.
Yeah.
He's very intimidating, and he's super powerful too. I think he's he's the most powerful character in Dragon Ball. Or Dragon Ball Z. In Dragon Ball Z, at least. Even base Vegito, I think, is super powerful. But the reason he fucks up is because he has serious flaws mentally, which is why I like him a lot. He's a lot like Vegeta in that way, He's Vegito is super powerful. Or did I say Vegeta? I meant Vegeta. Vegito's super powerful. He could have wiped Boo off the face of the planet with that, but he toys around with him and plays with him and wants to challenge him and and all this, and then he gets his ass handed to him because of that. And I really like that about Vegito. I think Vegito's cool. I think Gotenks is cool.
Yeah, I like Gotenks a lot. Yeah, I like Gotenks a lot.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've seen as well that I didn't mention was I've also seen the superhero movie, Dragon Ball Superhero, and
is that the one with the white Gohan or Beast Gohan or something?
Yeah, with Gohan Beast. Yeah, it's got Gohan Beast and Orange Piccolo. I actually really like that movie. Some of the animation is not. A lot of the animation is really terrible. But I like the plot of the movie a lot. But something that movie teases is it's got the first animated bit of Gohan, sorry, not Gohan, but Goten and Trunks as teens, in the new canon, the new continuity.
Oh, fusing.
Yeah, and they fuse, but they fuck it up and they become fat Gotenks. And so something I really want to see is I want to see a teen, an adult Gotenks, and I don't think he's been seen. I don't think they've done him yet, and that's something I hope maybe if they continue the manga, maybe they'll do that. But Gotenks is really cool. Yeah, I like his like half black, half purple hair.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
really cool.
I do too. I like Gotenks. I like Gotenks Super Saiyan 3 too. He's so funny.
Yeah.
And his moves are
Mhm.
ridiculous. He's got the most ridiculous moves. And he's got Super Donut or whatever, and then he's got the Ghost
Yeah.
move. Like it's just so
Yeah.
bizarre. Um, he's cool too. I think like if we get you if you would talk about power scaling, I think Gotenks Super Saiyan 3 is like super powerful too. Like,
Yeah.
but he's also an idiot. So like because he's like he's like an 8-year-old child. So it's like,
Yeah.
what are you like? Yeah, like he doesn't possess the maturity to defeat like an ancient evil like Boo.
Yeah. And that's
Um,
one of my criticisms of like one of my criticisms of Super is that Super is pretty long. It's like 130 episodes,
yeah.
and they don't do anything with Gohan and or sorry Goten and Trunks at all. Like
Hmm.
they're kept basically the same exact way. They turn into Gotenks a couple times for like comic relief,
Hmm.
and like that's it. The entire 130 episodes, they don't do anything with those two characters at all. Um, and it's a shame because Gotenks is he's a contender. He's a really good character.
Yeah, I mean, if we want to like talk about Super, we can. Let me just make a note. um, yeah, I like in my opinion, Super like is dog shit, and it doesn't adhere to the spirit
Yeah,
of Dragon Ball. I don't think it understands Dragon Ball. I don't like. And I think what it does is it tries to like rehash and like toy with your nostalgia in a way where they could have
yeah.
done it so much better too if they wanted to go down that route. Like you say, they don't utilize Gotenks at all. Like why not use like even Goten or Young Trunks in some capacity? They don't,
Or even
right?
Gohan. Like Gohan is
Yeah.
not utilized at all. Like until like the superhero movie, like Gohan is just not has nothing new the entire 130 episodes. Like nothing at all for him.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. Like for Gohan to not have anything like um
Yeah, it is
yeah, no, it's
ridiculous. And like they bring back like old shit like Frieza coming back is obviously just like a play on just like,
yeah.
oh, like let's get people to watch this again, like Frieza's
Yeah.
back. And then they do the same exact shit the next arc where they're like, oh, let's bring Trunks back and almost the same storyline as the first one, but like let's
Yeah.
make him lamer, like his hair's blue now for some reason.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah.
it's always been blue in the manga. It's like I don't care, like it was purple. And it
Yeah.
should stay purple,
Yeah.
please. That's like a minor criticism. But
Yeah.
like, you know, it's just like a bunch of rehash shit. The Tournament of Power, I haven't even watched that, but I think that probably has some potential to be like kind of newish and less nostalgia bait. No,
Yeah.
do you think so?
It is pretty good. The tournament power is like the problem with the tournament power is that and it's the same problem with the whole series. And not to get too like deep into it, but like I mean, the tournament power. There's no enemy. Like the whole like series, there's really no enemies because everyone in the tournament power are like good guys, right? So like um there's no real like threat like at all. There's some really cool things about the tournament power. Like there's really cool characters, a lot of really cool power ups. And it's nothing but fights, right? It's like nothing but
Hmm.
fight after fight for like 40 episodes. So it's really cool in that regard. But then again, at the same time, it's just that's all it is, right? It's just
There's
Super
no
Saiyans
stakes,
fighting
or
each
like
other.
they say there's stakes, right? Like I know the basic plot is like, oh, the Zeno, what is his name? Zeno or something? He's like the master of the universe is going to destroy
Yeah,
all the multiverse or something if you don't
yeah,
win or something like that. But you like obviously you know as a viewer that that will never happen. Like there's no real stakes
yeah.
here. Like it's just fights, cool fights.
It's just fights. It's just cool fights, and there are some really, especially the last like 10 or 20 episodes. There are a lot of really cool fights. The animation gets better. There's a lot of really fun stuff to watch. Some really good music and some really killer Vegeta stuff. Um, but it never reaches like the peak of like Dragon Ball Z. Um, yeah, it never does. Yes, weak in that regard.
Yeah, nothing I've seen has, and the animation is like questionable at some places. I don't know if it
Yeah,
gets better later on, but at least like the first few seasons or maybe even arcs, it's like very I don't know. It doesn't seem like there's many frames in the animation. Like the
no,
action isn't very fluid. We've all seen those screenshots of Super Saiyan 3 Goku looking
Yeah.
totally busted, right? Like,
Yeah.
they phoned in the animation a good bit for Super, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And I think it doesn't adhere to the spirit of Dragon Ball, because the spirit of Dragon Ball to me is really about, like, one, like, I'm gonna say this is wrong, but like, it's forms.
Yeah.
Like forms. And then in Super, what you get is like, what you get a Goku Red, who is like skinny Goku with like a red aura.
Yeah.
It looks exactly
Yeah.
the same. Like, that's not cool. That's not cool to me. Like, when I was a kid, the reason I watched it because I wanted to see Goku go Super Saiyan 3 or Super Saiyan 4,
Yeah.
etc. Right?
Yeah.
And you had an opportunity to make new forms, and you did, but you just used Goku's model, made him thinner, and then gave him a red aura. And then you did Super Saiyan Blue, which is basically the same thing, but he has a blue aura now. And I don't think he gets any forms, like, at all in Super, other than those two, right? Like,
No, he gets okay. So he
oh
gets
God, he gets like the God mode, but that's the same thing with the white aura.
well, okay. So God is the red, and so God is kind of all right, and then he gets blue. My problem with the blue is like I think the blue looks cool, but like the blue gets introduced like out of nowhere. Like in the Frieza arc, it's just like Goku and Vegeta show up and they're like, "We're blue now," and then Frieza is like, and I'm like basically not exaggerating. Like Frieza's like, "Well, I'm Golden Frieza now," and that's it. Like that's how that gets introduced, and it feels so fucking stupid. So yeah, that's a problem. The only other like so then he gets the Goku does like a Kaioken Super Saiyan Blue, so it's like a red and blue like combined kind of thing. Um and then he does that's all he gets until later he gets the Ultra Instinct
Right. That's what I was talking
during
about.
the
The white
permanent
aura.
power.
Yeah.
The white aura. And the white aura is pretty cool. Like he like dodges everything like autonomously. Um but I don't know, none of it never really feels as like I don't know, as epic or changing as like some of the Super Saiyan forms we got
Yeah, and
like
in
back in the
Dragon Ball,
day.
again, to the spirit like criticism, it's like in Dragon Ball, I think maybe this encapsulates the spirit of Dragon Ball is the direct to VHS movie called The History of Trunks. Have you ever seen this?
Yes.
Yeah. So in the History of Trunks, I think this encapsulates the spirit of Dragon Ball. In the History of Trunks, Trunks and Gohan, from the future timeline, live in a world where all the Z fighters have been killed because the androids have run amok and have basically destroyed the world, right? Right. So you only have
Right.
adult Gohan left, who is missing an arm because one of the androids ripped his arm off, and you have young Trunks, right? And they're basically like fighting these androids constantly, trying to defeat them. They keep getting beat every time and having to like retreat and like regroup, right? And then like try to approach them differently, but they keep getting their asses beat. Um, and this is where the spirit comes in. So there's a hardship. There's like a big hardship, and there's a real threat.
Yeah.
Like the world is like these guys are like
Yeah.
fucking everything up. These guys are fucking evil. They're killing everybody. They've already done considerable amounts of damage. Everybody's dead except Gohan and Trunks and Bulma and like a few other people. Um, so in one part of it, right, you know this, but like Gohan goes and with Trunks, and Gohan gets killed by these androids, right?
Right.
He just gets like straight up killed, right? And this is where the spirit bit comes in. Trunks sees this happen, and instead of just coming in and being like, "Oh, I'm blue now," he's like, "Holy shit, I'm having an emotional breakdown."
Yeah.
And now I'm like freaking out and angry, and now I'm going Super Saiyan. So there's like a
Yeah.
real catalyst here as to why he has reached this new transformation. And it's through like hardship and, anger and suffering, right? But he's reached this new transformation. He's he's Super Saiyan now. That's how Trunks learns to become Super Saiyan, right? And like to your point, Super does never does this, right? It's just like, "Oh, I'm blue now."
Yeah.
It's just like I'm blue for the sake of being blue because the writers thought this would be interesting or cool in some way. But it's just like you need to have like at least a decent story as to why it's happening. Um, I think, and I think Super lacks that in almost every regard. Um, I don't know. That was a long tangent, but I think Super sucks in my opinion. At least when you compare it to like Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball, I think it's bad. Um, I don't think it's any good. Maybe it's like comparable to GT, but I like GT a good bit in some cases. It has some bad parts, but GT gets a bad rap, I think. At least it
Yeah.
has forms.
It's
It
a
has Super
cool
Saiyan
form.
4, which is like arguably one of the coolest forms in the series. So it's like,
Yeah.
and you'd think that they would bring that back with Super, but they don't. They're just like this never happened, right? Like that's
Yeah.
not canon, right? So it's like,
They're doing
okay,
blue.
he turns blue and red now, and he looks exactly the
Yeah.
same. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
now you're watching Daima. They do bring back Super Saiyan 4 and Daima, which you probably already
Yeah.
knew that. Um,
Yeah. I know about it. Yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. What do you think? Okay, the next question is like, what do you think the themes of Dragon Ball are? If you had to look at it from like a literary lens, what do you think the themes of Dragon Ball as a whole are?
Okay, I will say this, dude. There's one episode. I need to go watch it again. But when I watched it, I really liked it. There's an episode in the Future Trunks saga, in Super, in the Goku Black arc, um, that really got into a lot. Like, there's a lot of like Buddhist like cosmology or philosophy in Dragon Ball.
Yeah,
Um, like especially in Super. And I agree with you. I don't think Super is very good at all. Like I don't know if I'll ever go back and rewatch it. But Super does get into this like a lot of these ideas of like where each universe has to like some universes are exempt from the universe of power and or for the tournament of power. And the reason they're exempt is that they're like their mortal level is like higher. Right. And so like the idea is like the mortals in their universe have like ascended, like have like become
they've
better.
reached like some
Um,
peak or like yeah of like enlightenment where like they're no longer violent or like yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
It's kind of like the idea between like the Supreme Kais and the Destroyers. Their job is to like raise the universe like up to this like higher peak. Um, so I really don't think that is like the like some of the themes in Dragon Ball, but those are some of the themes that come up in Super that are pretty cool. But in general, a lot of themes in Dragon Ball are just like surpassing your limit.
You think so?
You know, being stronger than you were before.
Yeah, not giving up, surpassing your limits, um, pushing through suffering, like
Yeah,
surpassing your limits specifically to make the world a better place in some way, like for
yeah,
some like good, like greater good reason maybe.
yeah,
I think one of the
yeah,
problems I have with Dragon Ball, like from a thematic lens, is that it relies so much on violence as a problem solver
yeah,
that like it glorifies violence to like an extreme degree. Not like a
yeah.
horror film where they're cutting off limbs and shit, but it's like, oh, to really defeat Frieza and Cell and the androids and Boo, you just have to beat the shit out of them.
You just fight. Yeah, you just
You
fight.
know, you
Become
just
stronger.
pummel them to a pulp and like
Yeah,
kill them. You know, I don't think that's a
yeah.
good lesson. I think that's a really bad lesson,
No.
and I think it goes against. And maybe Super tries to like rectify this, but I would say it's tacked on as as a
Yeah,
justification by saying, "Oh, maybe this universe is not as enlightened as others." It's like fine, like you can make that argument, but the show I'm watching is literally all about violence.
yeah.
You know, like
Well, and it does seem. It seems like the universes that are better, that are enlightened. It seems like they're just stronger too. I think that's really what the show is telling us too. That it is they have more power. Um, they've produced stronger warriors. Like maybe. Um,
yeah, it's so ridiculous. And like Dragon Ball deals in these like ideas that like people cannot be reasoned with and that evil does exist in a way where like there are certain beings and people that are evil and they must be killed and they must be pummeled into a pulp. And this is strictly like antithetical to Buddhism, period.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
Buddhism does not believe that people are evil. They don't think that good and evil even exists. It's a non-duality concept. You know, I
yeah,
was reading a thing today from some Zen dude, and he was like, "This is a very basic thought," but like he was like, a lot of people, think about the Nazis and Germany and like the the gas chambers and think about how evil these people were. But you know what I think about is like if I grew up in Germany, I might have been doing that.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's like encapsulates one of the Buddhist like thought processes. It's like there's a level of circumstances here that leads people into their behaviors, and better understanding these behaviors will bring you closer to like reaching some sort of level of compassion and empathy for people, right? It's like
Yeah.
Frieza doesn't have that. There's no backstory on
Right.
Frieza where
Yeah.
like she's like, oh, my dad was bad to me, or like bad things happened to me, and there's no redemption for Frieza. Maybe there is in Super, but I think in Super
Yeah.
she's still evil as fuck, but she's just doing
Yeah.
something out of like,
Yeah.
because it benefits her or him or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no redemption for these characters
No.
in Dragon Ball other than that they literally are evil and that they should be killed.
Yeah.
And to me, like that's like I don't know. As a kid, that's cool and that's based, and like even today, I can watch it and be like, "This is fun,"
Yeah.
but like if I had to analyze it, and maybe Dragon Ball shouldn't be analyzed like this, perhaps. Like maybe it shouldn't
Yeah.
be, because if
Yeah.
you do, you could destroy it. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you could destroy it philosophically, existentially,
Yeah.
religiously, like from every aspect. So maybe it shouldn't even be analyzed in this way. It is effectively a children's show, I think,
Yeah.
for children. But also,
Important.
like when
Yeah.
you start thinking about it, like, do I want Arthur, my child, like my son, to be like, I don't know, it's very dope that Goku beats the shit out of Frieza constantly.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, there's not super related to that, but when you're talking about duality, like there's a character. The cool part is the character named Top. When they're fighting the 11th universe, the final villain of the show, or the final bad guy of the show, is this character named Jiren,
Yeah,
from the 11th universe. But another character from the 11th universe is Top,
he's like
and
an
Top is
assassin or a hitman or something like that. Is that right?
or that's you might be thinking about Hit
Oh,
maybe,
hit.
but
My bad.
Top, um, Top is like this big mustache like character, and Top, you find out that Top is being groomed to be like the next like destroyer for Universe 11. Um, but Top has this kind of unique like character development where like all of Universe 11, like Dispo and Jiren and Top, they're all in like they're in like a Ginyu Force like type group, and their big thing is justice. Like they love justice. Like every time they fight, they're like, we're fighting for peace and justice. Um, but when Top finally lets loose his destroyer power, um, Top says that he's abandoned justice. He's like that dichotomy is no longer useful to him. And Top says he's like, now I'm only about being and non-being. And
That's still a
it
duality.
sounds it's still a duality, and it's still like way deeper than it probably really is like in the show. But I felt like that was the show's like attempt at like jumping out of like good and evil, right? Like it seemed like that character is he's all about like good and evil, and then he becomes like this more like I don't know, it's more ethereal, I don't know, like godlike character. It's not particularly good, maybe not really good to watch. Um, but it was one of the more interesting like thematic parts of the show, I think. The top episodes are pretty good. He's a good character. Yeah.
Yeah, that does sound more interesting than the normal thing for sure.
And then Vegeta destroys him. Vegeta has a really great moment where he berates Top for abandoning his values, and like Vegeta like has this moment where he like won't like leave um his determination for his son and his family and all that. So
Mm,
um
I
it
see.
was pretty good. Super, some of the ending stuff of Super is pretty good in that regard. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I think there's this Buddhist concept. I think it's called like interbeing, like interbeing instead of like being. It's
Mm.
interbeing. It's like the idea that like like everything's connected and like your being is like the same as somebody else's being essentially. Like what you do has ripple effects and causes downstream effects, etc. Um, so like the idea of like being and not being is interesting to me. I think if you press like a Buddhist, they would probably say like those are probably the same thing.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. Um. So I mean, the good themes are perseverance, pushing through suffering, like, breaking your limits. These are all good things, I think, like from a thematic standpoint. Um, a lot of us get hung up on this idea that like, where we can't get any better than we are or whatever. And Dragon Ball, shoots this idea down a lot, or at least encourages people to keep trying as much as they can, right?
And like maybe um this isn't super deep or anything, but like Dragon Ball has this great like motif of like allowing villains to redeem themselves, right? Like characters like Frieza and Vegeta, etc., like coming back and becoming characters that or even Pilaf. Pilaf has a good like minor role in Dragon Ball Super. So this idea that these characters that are bad and evil can actually have something to offer and be worthwhile. That's kind of cool about
Yeah,
Dragon
that's a
Ball.
good point. I didn't think about Vegeta or Frieza. I know Frieza and Super, but isn't Frieza and Super still just like evil? She's just doing it for personal gain, like,
Yes, he
or
is,
he.
but in the Tournament of Power, like Frieza is conniving the whole time, but every opportunity that Frieza gets to be conniving, Frieza ends up pulling through and being a bro. There's
Interesting.
even a part where like Goku like is doing a spirit bomb,
Mm-hmm.
so he needs everybody to give him the power, and Frieza gives him power and Vegeta doesn't. Like Vegeta is being a little bit more selfish than Frieza. Um, Frieza still, I think, is the most evil fucking character in Dragon Ball. But like in the Tournament of Power, Frieza plays ball and like is
Interesting.
there like being part of the team. Yeah, I was really proud of Frieza in the tournament. Actually, what took Jiren out in the very end of Super, Frieza and Goku worked together and they both sacrificed themselves to take out Jiren. And it leaves, I think, Android 17 is like the survivor
I
of the
remember
entire
reading
team.
that like Android 17, like, I don't know, did something crazy at the end, and everybody was like, "Damn, 17 came through," or something like that. I don't
I think
remember.
it's what he does. The very last thing that happens in the show is 17 wishes all the universes back.
Oh, I see. That's
And
another
it
thing
saves
about Dragon Ball that we haven't even talked about is like every problem can be like just like resolved with like a wish to some magical dragon
yeah,
genie,
it was a Dragon Ball.
which
Yeah,
is really weird to me. Like
yeah,
and then like uh, early in Dragon Ball Z they were like you can only do this once or twice, and then like they keep coming up with new fucking like narrative mechanisms to be like actually you can do it again, or you can
yeah,
revive Goku a fifth time. It's like
yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Like all right, there's black Dragon Balls now. It's like okay,
yeah,
all right, black Dragon Balls, okay, it's from a different universe. It's like okay. um Yeah, I don't know. That kind of plays into like the fact that there are very little stakes, I guess, in all of Dragon Ball.
yeah.
I
And
think when
there's
I
a
was
lot
a
of little
kid,
plot
one of the
holes. Yeah. Sorry. Go
no,
ahead.
when I was a kid, one of the things that really like impacted me about the Frieza saga was when Krillin dies.
Yeah.
You remember that?
hmm He gets gored, doesn't
He
he?
gets
Get gored
freaking
to death.
gored, dude. It's like a very violent
Yeah.
death. And even though you know about the Dragon Balls, it's like it still felt like a very serious moment in the show. Like it somehow
Yeah.
managed to make it feel like this was like a very impactful thing that happened. Um,
hmm
that death like sticks out to me. Android 16, or was it 13? Android 13's death sticks out to me.
He's 16. Yeah.
16, yeah, the one with the mohawk.
Yeah.
Um, he like self destructs himself or whatever.
And he's probably based off Dr. Jiro's son.
Mm,
Because in the Dragon Ball superhero movie, one of the big antagonists, it's Dr. Jiro's grandson, Dr. Hito. He makes like some new androids and like a new cell. Um, but it shows like his parents for a second, and his dad looked just like Android 16. So
interesting,
that made me think like maybe Dr. Zero based Android 16 off of his son.
interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Since we're getting on time here. Or I don't know. Like we've been going for a while. I want to go to the next question, which was which Dragon Ball Z games did you play when you were a kid?
Budokai. I rented Budokai 2. I owned Budokai 1. I rented Budokai 2. And those were the main games. I had a Budokai game for PSP that I played a little bit. And then I played some Budokai Tenkaichi 3 with you when we were like in high school.
Yeah.
That was my DBZ games.
Yeah, the main one that I played the most was Budokai 3, and that was with my friend in Charleston, and then in you we played that a lot. I played that game by myself a lot as well, on Adderall and shit. During high school and middle school, I had a phase where I played that game a lot, and I unlocked everything, all the moves and all that. That game's really cool. The amount of characters that you could play as in Budokai 3, even though a lot of them were like clones and felt the same, was just mind-boggling to me as back then. There's hundreds of characters in that game you can play as. Like even characters it's like, oh, the one female Saiyan from like the 15-minute short, like from you can play as her. It's like, okay, like awesome, like that was cool. I played one called Dragon Ball Ultimate 33 or something like that for the freaking PlayStation 1. I got that from what I mentioned earlier, Swap USA, when I was a kid. I had a PlayStation 1 and it was an import, and they sold me, or my mom bought it, they sold me this little device you have to stick into the back of the PS1, and then you have to keep the lid open with a spring to like trick the US PS1 into not recognizing that it's getting past the region lock or whatever. And I played this one summer with my friend Miles, and we played that a little bit. It was total dog shit. That game sucks, but that was one of the ones I remember, and that had a lot of characters in it that I'd never seen before because I was young and all that. I played that one. I knew a kid who had like Final Bout. You remember that one?
Yeah.
I never had that one myself. I've played Xenoverse 2. I have that on Steam. I played that like 4 or 5 years ago. That one feels a lot like Budokai. It feels like a lot like Budokai. And maybe Sparking Zero feels a lot like Budokai as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Sparking Zero feels a lot like Budokai Tenkaichi.
That's what I mean, Tenkaichi, when I say Budokai. There's a separate one that's more like a fighting game, right? It's called Budokai, right?
Sparking Zero is a great. I mean, it's a great. It feels like Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Like it's got hundreds of characters, and I mean, all of them like play basically the same, for the most part. But it does have hundreds of characters, and you fight as them.
Interesting. Do I have any other questions? Who's your favorite character?
Vegeta, probably for sure. I think Vegeta is my favorite character. And the more I watch Vegeta, he's just so much of a better Saiyan than Goku, right? Like, Vegeta, like, there's a scene in Super where like Goku will not do Goku will sacrifice anything to train. And there's a scene in Super where like Bulma is pregnant with like Bulla, like Trunks' sister, and Goku's trying to go train, and Vegeta won't go train. Like Vegeta's like, I'm gonna stay here with Bulma. Like I want to stay here to see, like the birth of my child. Like Vegeta is like in my opinion, he's the best character in Dragon Ball Z. Like
I would actually agree with you totally 100% that Vegeta is the best character in Dragon Ball Z. And that like you could probably, from a certain standard, you could probably make an objective argument for that reason. He's got the most development. He's got the most complex character as well. The fact that he was a villain, and then he's still like villainous a little bit, but like he switches sides, like you said earlier. He kind of redeems himself a little bit. He does have like a responsibility to people that are other than to something other than himself. Even though like outwardly he pretends that he does not. Which is interesting. Goku, on the other hand, is like very one-dimensional, like, and a selfish prick. Like when you get down to it, and he's so like oblivious to everything that like that criticism like sometimes slides off of him almost. But like it's totally true. Like he like ignored Chi-Chi when she had children. Like he barely took care of Gohan. He barely took care of Goten. He's always out. He never spends time with his fucking family. maybe I'm wrong about this,
He
but
even
like,
says that in Daima, there's a part where like one of the characters asks him about raising his sons, and he's like, I wasn't really there. He's like, I wasn't really there for that.
Yeah, like you have to wonder, like Goku's not even complex enough to have a scene where he would like think to himself, like, oh, is this like, did I make the wrong choice, or like,
Yeah.
reflect on that at all. You never see him do that. He's just obsessed with fighting, getting stronger, making sure that he like hones on his skills.
There's a part in Super. It barely happens in Super. I think it happens in the manga. I think. But there's this idea that maybe like Vegeta will become like the destroyer of the 11th or the seventh universe, because that's how destroyer gods, like, they do get groomed. But like I think, and it is like this in Super. Like Vegeta is so committed to his family that I don't think he would ever become a destroyer. I think if, like, my personal theory, I think if any character in Dragon Ball was to become a destroyer, I think it would be Goku, right? Because like Goku has no fucking allegiance to his family whatsoever. If there's any character that like I think would fit a mantle of like destroying worlds that are not ready and like just caring about fighting, that's got to be Goku, I think, hands down, over and over and over again. I don't think the show will ever do it, but I
Yeah.
do think if a character needs to be a destroyer god, it's Goku. I think it has to be Goku. That's my
Like
personal
I guess
theory.
so, but the problem, I can see where you're coming from. I think the problem with that is like Goku. The only reason he fights the bad guys who come to the planet and threaten the world are because like he does have a compassion for life,
True. Yeah.
like a considerable passion for life, even though he's a selfish asshole who doesn't take care of his family. If Gohan's in trouble or about to die, he will show up.
Right. Yeah.
He will be like, no, I
Yeah.
will save my son.
Yeah.
I will not take care of him or raise him, but like, you do not kill my son. Like,
Yeah.
he cares. He has a compassion for life, and he doesn't just fight people to get stronger. At least not that maybe he does. I don't know. That's like a Vegeta thing. Goku fights people. I think there's a one motivation to get stronger, but he also literally is offended when people are like, I am going to kill the entire planet. Like, he is like, you
Do that.
cannot
Yeah.
do that. Like, that is wrong. He has a
Right.
very strong sense of like right and wrong. I don't think he would ever be a destroyer and just blow up planets and shit because of that. I think
Yeah.
it goes against his
Yeah.
character. Maybe.
And he does, like in Z especially. He's got that. You don't see that as much in Super, but Z especially, like you would see Goku. Like when shit got real, Goku would show up and be all business.
Yeah.
Um,
And he would be serious
but you
too. Like,
don't.
he'd be serious about it. Like,
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
personality would almost shift, and that's what was cool about Goku and Z is that like half the time he's goofy and like an idiot,
Yeah.
but like when stuff gets real, like his like expression on his face will change, and he'll talk differently too, and he'll be like, "No, you don't fucking do
Yeah.
that." He's like, "You're
You can
done.
tell.
You're
Yeah.
done, Frieza. Like I'm going to destroy you
Yeah.
now." Like,
Yeah.
and that's really cool when you see Goku get like really serious. Does he ever do that in like Super at all?
I mean, you see him show up and be more serious at times, but it never happens at that. In my opinion, it never happens at that level of like, I don't know, in Dragon Ball Z, like when he shows up on Namek and he's like Kaioken and he takes out like Riku, or when he turns Super Saiyan for the first time and it just deals with Frieza. You don't
Yeah.
quite really see that ever in Super. I wouldn't
Yeah,
say that
that's a
you do.
shame. That's one of the coolest parts of
A
his
little
character.
bit when he becomes Ultra Instinct for like the first two times, like he shows up and he's pretty badass like that, but it's not, in my opinion, it's not as strong as it is in Z. Um,
Mm,
yeah, definitely not.
that's a bar. All right. Well, I think we should move on to the next topic before we get
Hmm.
too tired, which is the Great Gatsby. It's a
The
total
Great
tonal
Gatsby.
shift. Um, it's been at what are we
Great
at?
book.
1 minute and 20. I'll just put 28. Um, the Great Gatsby. I read the Great Gatsby. I think 7 months ago. So I don't remember it fully. I have a bad memory sometimes, especially when I only
Mm.
read something once. But I liked the book. I thought it was really
Mhm.
good. Um, what was the question I had? Let's see.
I think it's a great. I mean, honestly, like, okay, I read Great Gatsby in high school and I didn't like it. And then last year I had a class. I had a 10th grade class that were like getting bored of the work, and I was like, "You guys," they wanted to read a book, and I was like, "Well, let's do a fucking book." And I pulled out The Great Gatsby. It's a great 10th grade book, and I taught it to the class, and I read it again for the first time in like 10 years. And I think it's a great book. I think Great Gatsby is like my favorite thing about The Great Gatsby is I think its construction, like it's only like 200 pages, and I
Yeah,
think there's not a wasted word in like the entire book. I think every part of the book like contributes to the plot and to the meaning of the book. Like I
to the
think
character
like
development and like everything. Yeah, I think so
yeah,
too. It's a very
everything
short
is
book, and
great.
it gets a lot across with very few words, and the amount of shit that
Yeah.
happens, and it does it in a way where it's like emotionally impactful. Um,
Hmm.
it's almost like the opposite of something like David Foster Wallace, who would take probably like 200,000 you know pages
Yeah.
to write The Great Gatsby, like in a
Yeah.
maximalist, ridiculous style, right? Like whereas who is it? L. Scott Fitzgerald does it with like I don't know,
Mm.
like a mastery almost of just like, here's what I want to say. I'm not going to say any bullshit. Like I'm not going to waste your time. Like
Yeah.
here's what it is. His language is a little like flowery and poetic sometimes, which
Yeah.
like rubs me like kind of annoying sometimes. But overall, I think
Mm.
it's a really interesting book. And I think the themes of the book fit a lot into our society today, or a lot of into what I've
Oh
been
yeah.
thinking about recently, like Buddhism and other things like that as well. Um,
Yeah.
like the idea that the whole crux of the book is what the Jay Gatsby is obsessed with this idea of Daisy, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like, and he wants to like possess Daisy almost, like, his
Yeah.
whole life he was like what, like a poor dude, like, growing up, like he
Yeah.
was a poor, bullshit person. He faked his way into some party, I think, right? And then like met Daisy and
Yeah.
they fell in love. And then he faked it till he made it,
Yeah.
solely because of his desire to like possess Daisy, right? Like to get back with her.
Yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to impress Daisy. I'm going to continue being like this like playboy showman, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get the mansions and all that shit. Um, and then it all
But then
culminates as you,
he gets Daisy, and he
yeah,
doesn't. He's fucking still empty, right? He's
he's still
still
empty,
fucking this.
right? Exactly, and
Yeah.
that's like a key thing in all sorts of you know literature and especially Eastern philosophy. It's like you have this
Yeah.
great idea of like what you want, and when you get it, it's just not as good as you think it is, or maybe you like had the wrong reasons for wanting to get it, and you're still empty and like unhappy even after getting it, right? um
Yeah.
I think that like ties into our like just our society in general is like, it's almost, we're all like a bunch of little great like little Jay Gatsby's almost. Like we have this idea of like getting things. We have a desire to get a bigger house, a better car, more money, more stuff in our house. But we like, none of this makes us happy or satisfies us in any way,
Right.
or it does like for a very small amount of time, right? But we want more. Um,
Yeah.
and I think his story is, I don't know, like a parable to that just
Yeah.
concept, and it kind of reflects, like in David Foster Wallace's Infinite Jest, like Clipperton almost a little bit, where he like gets all the trophies and
Yeah.
dies, or
Yeah.
even the, what's his name, the father in Candenza, who like
Yeah. Yeah.
gets like, he becomes like
For
a
sure.
famed scientist and like a famed indie film guy. He's still unhappy and still sticks
Yeah.
his head in a microwave, right?
No, that's a
Um,
great point. That idea that that putting all your effort into a dream and then attaining the dream, it's like there's nothing after that, right? And I
yeah,
don't know. That's back to that Buddhist point, right? Is that like chasing it? Um, like there's no getting it, right? Like all there is the chase. All there is the cycle, right? There's no. You can make the tennis school, and you can make the movies. You can get Daisy Buchanan and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, whatever hole inside of you that began all this, it's still going to be there, just as empty.
yeah, I think yeah, you're right on, and I think I don't know. I think like, I don't know what the solution is, but like Buddhism claims to have a solution, which is just like focus on, um, improving, yourself internally, um, and like trying not to gain things and letting go of attachments and accepting that everything that you need is right inside you at this moment, and that you can be happy just sitting on the floor with nothing, right? Like, and that's great. That sounds great in theory, right? And like, I'm still on the fence if that's even possible, but like there are certain teachings from that, as you know, that I've written about that I think are useful and beneficial. Um, but I think in terms of how we live today, the reason we're trying to attain so much stuff, and I realize I'm rambling, is like it's not. It's from a place of almost like ego of like I need this stuff because of like some reason or other, like to like give off an air or I don't know, something like that, right? So like you're approaching it from the wrong aspect to begin with. So when you attain it, it's just kind of like, okay, I've got this thing now and I've realized that it has not improved, my social standing or whatever I thought it was going to improve, and like I'm still in the same spot and I still feel the same way. So it's like in Final Fantasy 11, we both play that. It's like when you get into the game and you're just playing it for the first time, or maybe you've restarted it after a while, and you're just leveling up and you're just enjoying playing the game, you know? Where the fuck did you go? Anyways, you enjoy playing the game. Like you're just enjoying playing the game. You're in the moment playing the game. You're leveling up, you're absorbing the atmosphere. Like you're having fun and and you're not really thinking about, being level 99, but at some point you start desiring this thing like, "Oh, I want to be level 99." But as you and I both know, when we get to level 99, it's just like the fun's like almost not there anymore. Like it's like, okay, I'm
Right.
at level
Yeah.
99 now. Like, you know, I wish I was back in Gustaberg fighting bees for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, there's
There's no ultimate. I mean, I think 11, Final Fantasy 11 is a great game to bring up in that regard. It's because there's no, and it's just the same way with real life. There's no moment of complete like satisfaction that you're gonna get. You're gonna be chasing satisfaction or creating like um,
criteria
new
and new like
criteria.
things. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
yeah, and you always do that, right? Like, there's so many times I've told myself where like when I restarted playing Final Fantasy 11, it's like, oh, like, this is probably the only game I could ever play, because when I really get into it, like I'm just like happy and I'm like having fun and like I don't really care about much else, right? But like at a certain point, it becomes
Mhm.
boring. Like especially when you hit some of your goals. Like, oh, I've
Yeah,
got the shining one now. Okay, this is cool. Right.
yeah,
When I unlocked shining one last time, I was just like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't even compelled to use it. I was just like, I have this thing, you know.
yeah,
I was like, I
yeah,
have this thing now. Like, what am I trying to prove exactly, and why did I want this thing to begin with? Who knows? I have no idea.
yeah,
Um, I have no fucking clue. Um, but the fact remains that human beings are compelled to do this, almost it seems like biologically.
yeah.
Or maybe I'm just wrong about that. Maybe our society has just like wired our brains in such a way where we're fucked. But like it seems like people are compelled to try to gain stuff. I don't know. Everybody's doing it. I mean, it's not just a first world problem. It's not just a first world
No,
problem. It
no.
happened from the beginning of time. That's why we're here to begin with. Everything is a chain of events. Like all the antecedents are at one point caveman wanted, caveman John's cave because it was bigger,
Right.
than his.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Like there's something inside of us as humans that like compels us to want things. And that's what's interesting about Buddhism. Buddhism's like, if that's true, if we're compelled to do that just naturally, Buddhism's telling us to analyze that spark, that dark spark is what I'll call it, and
Yeah.
extinguish the dark spark that is almost biologically in your nature. That's what
Yeah.
Buddhism tries to do, because it tells you that dark spark is literally the root of your problem.
Well, and it believes that like human beings, right? Like if you've managed to in the cycle of samsara, if you've managed to like emerge as a human being, that you've emerged as one of the very few beings, if not the only being in reality that can fight that, right? Like a lion or an elephant or an ant, like they can't fight their base nature, right?
No.
But human beings, and I do believe this is true. Like human beings, I think we fail, like ultimately, but like we do manage to fight our base nature. We're the only fucking cognitive being that we know of that can. I don't know where I was going with that, but that's really cool,
No, I
right?
think that's
Maybe
a
that's
great
part of the
point.
reason
I think
why.
that's a great point. And I think that calls it, I
Yeah.
think that's like, yeah, it's a very interesting point, actually. Because if we have a dark spark, then we have like some sort of light spark as well that can like extinguish the dark spark, you know? And it's just like, how do we, the dark spark is stronger, absolutely, than any sort of
Yeah.
light in us, period. Like, and I think like the
Yeah.
darkness probably stems from a, like, maybe if we were to take a scientific approach, probably some sort of evolutionary survival thing. Like John,
Sure,
like
yeah.
caveman John has bigger cave that's cozier and further away from the bear nest. Like I'm gonna kill caveman John and I'm gonna take his fucking cave, you
Let's
know,
take it.
because I need to
Yeah.
survive, right? And like maybe a lot of
Yeah.
this is linked to survival. I mean, money in these days is linked to survival. People have this idea that if I
Yeah.
have more money, I'm going to live longer or I'm going to have a happier life and that's going to, you know, improve my well-being and make me live longer.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe if you get to the root of it, that's what it is. A lot of people don't
Yeah.
realize that you can like have a decent life with like, you know, a smaller paycheck than you have
Yeah.
now, you know, or none, you know, depending on how you live your life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
As the Buddhists would tell you to do is just who fuck a paycheck, just go out and like sit around and be one with nature, right? And it's just like,
Hey, it'll be
cool,
fine.
if you can
Yeah.
do that, that's fine. But it seems like a lot of this stems from this, like this, I don't know, this misconception that we need a lot of things that we don't for survival.
Right. Yeah.
But to your point, like if we can recognize that, then we can fight it. And that's what's so frustrating about people who are like, that's it, dude. You know, I'm in like the tech industry, and I'm like surrounded by fucking sales guys, right? These sales guys are the antithetical to literally everything I believe.
Right.
You know, like literally, like their whole lives are like, I need to get the biggest commission possible, and I will trick people into buying software to do that. You know, and it's like they live in a world that is dominated by greed and, you know, desire, literally.
Right.
And the problem with what it frustrates me the most about it is none of them are introspective about it, and they all make justifications for it, or they make arguments that it's good. Like this is how the world works. Like this is how the fucking world works, right? The more money you have, you know, the better your life's gonna be. That's the exact opposite of what I believe in some ways. Like the more you chase, like in my opinion, the more you chase money, and that's your primary goal, the more unhappy you are going to be. I think because you're chasing something that it's like it's a never ending goal that you're never going to reach. Like once you hit, you know, a big commission check that you wanted last year, your next goal is going to be even bigger, and then beyond that, it's going to be even bigger than that. Right? It doesn't stop. It never stops. If you base your life around something that is like literally a goal that just keeps inflating itself over and over again, like you will never reach a level of contentment or contentment like in your life, I think, ever. And it's such a shame because like we live, I'm rambling. I'm doing most of the talking here, so you can cut me off at any time. But like, it's such a shame because we live in America, and that is America's mindset. That is America.
Yeah.
That's what we are taught from a young age. This is how it works, and this is what you should participate in the rat race, like because it will make your life better somehow. Maybe it does material in the short term. Maybe it does. I don't know. But like mentally, I've met a lot of rich people. I used to live in a rich community, as you know, right? A lot of people I met around there were not happy people. In fact, a lot of them were fucking assholes, like, and dicks. Yeah. And the only reason someone is an asshole is because they are unhappy with themselves. Period. Of course. That's the only reason. Yeah. Now there could be other like reasons why they're unhappy with themselves, but like generally, if you're an asshole, it's because of you and you have problems with yourself that you need to fucking deal with.
Right.
And Eastern religion or philosophy attempts to deal with that, right? That's what they attempt to pinpoint. It's like, what is the root of your suffering is you, and here's some suggestions on how you can deal with that, right? But
Right.
America and Western society has completely rejected this idea, like completely.
Right.
Like the problem is not me; it is my environment, and it is the things that are surrounding me. Like my house is too run down and dinky.
Right.
You know, like the plumbing in my house is, not up to snuff. I need to get it fixed. I need to get better plumbing.
Yeah.
I need to like get a better shower head because the fucking water pressure is not good.
Yeah.
It's going to improve my life somehow.
That'll make it all better.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm done rambling. You go.
No, I think you hit the nail on the head. I think that's what I think that's one of our big issues, as human beings is that, especially in America, we're taught that, any problem you have, usually we're taught that any problem we have, like some money can solve it,
Yeah.
But if you're smart enough, you realize that is the problem is so much more than that, such a
the problem is more than that. Yeah, absolutely. And the problem is we've built this like America and the West have built the system based on this idea as well. So it is almost like if you get sick, the more money you have does, like at least in the short term, like if you have more money, the more likely you are to survive your sickness,
Right.
So when you look at it from that perspective, it's almost like, yeah, like, well, if I do have a lot of money, I can cure my cancer, and if I don't have a lot of money, I can't cure my cancer. So you tell me which one's better. My argument is that it's not the money and how much money you have that's better. It's like this is a separate thing almost entirely.
Yeah.
It's literally all your mindset. That's all it is.
There's the old I forget what Kanye song it is. There's the old Kanye song. He's got a lyric that goes, he says, "Money ain't everything, but not having it is." Right? So like the idea that like in America at least, like, yeah, like money's not everything, but if you don't have money, then it kind of can seem like that's your biggest problem. But that in itself is like really crazy that it created a world where like, I don't know, not having this representation of labor, right? Like means that your life is less.
Yeah.
It really isn't. It's not a less life. It's a fine life.
It is. I think like money is almost like a proxy for violence or something like that.
Money is crazy because you can like Wikipedia money, and like money predates like written history even, right? Like if we try to trace back history, like there's this fucking money was around before. Like this crazy game of like
they find old ass coins generally,
yeah. Like it's the oldest shit in the world.
Maybe proxy for violence is not the wrong word. Maybe I'm not articulating what I mean properly. I think what I mean is money is a proxy for like non-violence almost. It's like, if you have $1, you can use that on food. If you don't have $1, you'll starve. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like we've developed the systems as humans where money is like a proxy just for like, I don't know, survival almost. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Money is some of the craziest shit. I don't understand money, to be honest. But it's some of the craziest shit that human beings have ever done. The whole money thing, dude, like the idea that you can save up your work and turn it into a gold coin and then go spend it. Like that's what's allowed us to like fucking have Walmart and SpaceX and all that other stuff. That basic principle of like let's store up the work,
Mm-hmm.
and let's calculate the work into this like third party kind of representation, and that third party representation has become like the movement of the world, right? Like the capital of the world, like from fucking Facebook and like all the internet stuff and like the space machines. I don't know. It's some crazy shit. Like money is crazy. I don't have much of it, to be honest. I don't have much of it myself. But I do have these plastic fucking Pokemon cards that I can fucking swipe and I can get some shit for a minute. Like that's what I don't understand about it. Is like it's really fucking insane. The point that like money has gotten to the point where I can have plastic Pokemon cards and now I can go and I can get stuff.
Yeah, credit is insane. Like when you think about it, credit is like the future like promise of money or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's like we're gonna give you $1,000 credit card because we think that in the future you can give us the money back. Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe, you know,
Maybe.
like a lot of our sales are based on that. Like almost our entire society is based on credit, like to a certain degree. So um, it's really bizarre. And when you think about like the world debt or like the United States debt, which I don't know what the number is, people always cite some crazy huge fucking number, right? Um, like we're like the United States is apparently trillions of dollars in debt, yet we still produce all sorts of things and whatnot. Who are we in debt to? One, like why aren't we ever
Yeah.
paying it back? Why doesn't that seem to have any long-term implication on anything? Why are we still like the most powerful country in the world if we are the most in debt country? Like it's very weird. Like I don't understand any of that, to be frank. I don't understand economics, and I think you would have to do some serious schooling to like get a good
Yeah.
grasp on how this
I don't know
shit works.
about it. Yeah.
You know, because I
Yeah.
don't have the first fucking clue on how that works.
I don't have any idea.
Yeah, no idea. But like tying it back to the Great Gatsby, which is what the topic is, Mr. J. Gatsby, he has a lot of money. Um, what another thing I like about Great Gatsby is like the fakeness of the society. I really like that, and I read that right after I read Catcher in the Rye for like the fifth time in a row. So like I see the Great Gatsby and Catcher in the Rye as two very very similar novels in my mind. I like
Okay.
Catcher in the Rye way fucking more. It's like my favorite novel, but um, like these books are both about like to use modern vernacular, posers essentially,
Yeah. Phones. Yeah.
phonies. Yes, like Gatsby and how that's written, J. Fitzgerald or whatever. Um, he illustrates this society where everybody is a fake. Nobody says what they mean. You know, they're all like these, dandy kind of, you know, I don't know, people who like rich people who just talk behind each other's back. They never talk to each other's faces genuinely about how they feel. You know, he goes to great lengths to explain that people wear clothing just for performative reasons and like all this other shit. Um, in
Right.
Gatsby, the setting there is a setting of fakery. You know, um, and like I like to imagine when I was reading Gatsby, like what if we put Holden Caulfield in like that in that setting for like even a day. Like how would he
That's really funny,
how
actually.
would
Yeah.
he like how would he interpret that world? You know, and I think he would interpret it exactly the same way as he interprets the world around him in Catcher, like because he sees it in everything else as well. He would just probably see it,
Yeah.
still in this society, maybe to a greater degree. Um, but I don't know. I think even the narrator in Gatsby is meant to be like somewhat of a kind of phony dick too, in a way,
Yeah. Like Will or whatever his name is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's not quite as bad as other people, but like he's not genuine either, and he's kind of like I don't know, obsessed with airs and appearances as well. Um, But I was really big into that concept of like phony and phonyism for a while because
Yeah.
I think I don't know. I think everybody does it. Everybody does it. Nobody's like a totally non-phony. Everybody's a phony on
No.
some level.
Yeah. If you're in the adult world, for sure.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I think authenticity is a big theme. I think in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, and a lot of
I
stuff
think
that
that's
we've read
a lot
for
in
sure.
Gatsby. Yeah. Yeah. But I think the Great Gatsby is it's a great book. It's an awesome piece of American literature.
So let's think at the end of Great Gatsby, like what happens to Gatsby, right? He dies. So what was the reason for him dying? So like the theme of him like being obsessed with Daisy, he obtains Daisy, he's still unhappy. But like at the end, does he redeem himself or something? Like how do you read that at the end? Like he essentially dies for Daisy, right? Because he covers for her, right? Isn't that what he does? Like
Right. It's a result, though. His death is the result of like. I mean, Tom Buchanan lies about something that makes that one guy think that he thinks that Gatsby was sleeping with his wife, but it was actually
it
Tom
was
that was
actually
sleeping with his
Tom,
wife,
right?
right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Um,
Because they're all
and
phonies,
like
yes.
I don't have a lot to say about it, but that's one thing I like about the book is like that whole misunderstanding that all starts like in the second chapter of the book when they all go to that party
Mm-hmm.
um with that guy's wife or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I mean Jay Gatsby's death, I guess, would be like more indicative of like um I don't know, maybe the idea that like no matter what you get, it still won't save you, right? Like if you're gonna get your success through this like really shitty like web of lies, then you're gonna be beholden to whatever consequences that come to you.
Right.
That might be maybe one theme of it. I feel like it's deeper than that though.
Because like you said, the web of lies is interesting. It's something we haven't touched on, right? Like he did create an extensive web of lies to get where he was, um, to get his wealth, to get his mansion, to get his thing, and you never even figure out truly like what he does. Like it's hinted, I think, that he's like a bootlegger and he
It's a
does illegal
bootleg,
he
yeah,
does illegal shit, right? Like basically,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
Um, but I don't know. When I think about the ending, Daisy accidentally kills the woman by driving, or whoever, by hitting her with the car, right?
Mhm.
Gatsby is not in that car when he's driving, or is he?
No, he's not. He's not in the car that hits her. No.
He's not. Okay. Because they get in a fight or something, right? I'd have to read the book. Like they get like
Yeah.
in a fight and she drives away. But Gatsby learns about it and he says, Daisy, like, let me take the credit, or like let me like, you know, take the blame for this. And that gets him shot by the husband. He falls into the pool and
Yeah.
he dies in the pool.
Hmm.
So I mean, one read is like almost like a redemption. No, like a bad guy dying at the end, or like our hero dying at the end,
Yeah.
usually like implies some sort of like you get your just desserts or whatever, you get what's coming to you. But in this case, he like willingly does it. Like he didn't have to take the blame for Daisy,
Right.
you know? So I don't know what I'm trying to get across here. It's just I think the ending's just kind of weird to me. I do agree that it's
Yeah.
like the web of lies thing. I think that's directly related for sure. And maybe I'm misunderstanding, or maybe we're not remembering the ending right. Maybe he was in the car. I don't remember.
No, there's definitely there's I can't remember either, unfortunately, but there's something with like the confusion with him being the person that like drove the car is like one of those like I don't know what you call it, but like it's just one of those moments that's just like it just the confusion just all lined up, just perfectly against Gatsby. And he kind of just
it's like a house of cards
I
or
mean the
something.
guy yeah, and the guy that killed him, I mean, he really thought that Gatsby was the guy responsible for killing his wife. But I don't know. I mean, maybe one of the messages is like there really, I mean, in that book, there really are no like good characters,
Right. Yeah.
And it seems like, I don't know, if you're in that mess, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it hard enough recently to contribute, I guess. But
It's definitely a critique
yeah,
on like that high society of that time, right? For sure. And how you get what's coming to you essentially, I think is like a high level reading of like what it is. But there's also themes of like, his desire to obtain Daisy is just like, I don't know, driven by an obsession that comes from the wrong place. Like he thinks it's gonna make him happy, but
yeah,
it won't, and then eventually it kills him, right? Like,
yeah.
um,
And Gatsby himself is he's like a rags to riches story too, right? Like Gatsby had nothing. He was not this like old money kind of guy like Tom Buchanan was or
right.
something, right? So Gatsby really wanted to enter this kind of society. And then when he does, it turns out it's not
It's not
anything that he
all,
thought it would be.
yeah, it's not all, rainbows or whatever.
Yeah. It's more phony shit,
Yeah, it's all
if we want to
phony.
go into
And he
yeah,
like
it's
he
phony.
like epitomizes the phoniness because like he does come from a rags to riches and like I don't even know if he cares about that society and on any level. I feel like Gatsby is just playing the game because he is so obsessed with Daisy and he loves her and he wants to
Yeah.
obtain her and he wants to steal her from Tom or whatever, right? That he is
Yeah.
willing to just like insert himself into the society, like win at it, quote unquote. So like I win at this society and I'm the wealthiest person in this neighborhood and that's going to impress Daisy. Like this, like
Yeah.
him actually being in that society is like secondary to like everything else. He really just is doing this to get Daisy. If Daisy was like, "Oh, I love guys who like are master Pokemon, players," he would be a master Pokemon player.
He'd be a
You
master
know,
Pokemon player. Yeah.
he
Yeah,
wouldn't be
absolutely.
in this highfalutin society, pretending to be I don't know, a dandy or whatever you call it.
Yeah.
He would be he'd be slinging Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, maybe it's like the danger of like giving yourself up to somebody so completely is like retarded or something. Like maybe that's one of the themes
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Like you should do something for yourself and like your own inner self and like satisfaction instead of just trying to put on airs to impress another person. And he doesn't even love
Almost.
Daisy as a person. He loves the idea of Daisy,
Right.
you know, because
Yeah.
I can't remember correctly, but like there are parts in the book after he gets with Daisy where he talks to her and she says like some stupid shit, and like he like, I can't remember his exact response, but he's like questioning to himself at some times. He's like, man, this girl's like stupid or something like that, or like
Yeah.
she's not very bright.
Yeah.
And there's some points where you even think he might regret like towards the end there, you get like this impression that he might even regret like what he's done, maybe a little
Yeah.
bit, or
Sure.
he's questioning it, or he's at the beginning of questioning, like, is this really like the right choice that I've devoted
Yeah.
my life to?
Well, and that big feeling of like, that's probably a big universal theme, right? Is that I don't know what is there once you get what you're supposed to get, right? Like we see that in a lot of like I'm thinking of like a lot of like Disney movies, right? Like in the early 2000s, like a lot of Disney movies had like a bunch of directed DVD sequels, right? Like Cinderella 2 and The Lion King 2 and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. And like they're all like no one really cares about those movies. And
Right.
I think because like that's not something we're trained to really think about, right? It's like we love the story like when someone's fighting for their loved one. We love the story when someone's trying to get what they want. But then once they get it, and the main character's 30 years old, and they've got the object of their desire, then what is there left? What's left, right? And what Gatsby tells us, there's nothing really. There's not really much left after that.
I think
And maybe
that's
there
like
was
a
nothing
nihilistic
to begin
read for
with.
sure. Like a nihilistic read, I think that's for sure. I think there is something left, but there isn't something left if your focus remains on like the material realm almost, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. But to your point about like fucking Little Mermaid 2, why can't they just like leave it? I know they want to capitalize it and make more money or whatever, you know, because Little
Yeah.
Mermaid was so successful. Um, I don't know. Was the point you're trying to make is like Disney couldn't just stop at Little Mermaid's success. Like they had to like ride on, like try to ride its
Make another one.
coattails and get it again, you know, because they weren't,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot of those in there. I like the Cars movies. Your kid, your son used to be really big into Cars. Like Arthur's watched a few of those. Those movies are not good. They're fucking boring, in my opinion. Like those are not good movies. My
I
son's been
haven't watched
watching
Cars
Toy
in a while.
Story a lot recently. Toy Story 1
Mhm.
and is a fucking masterpiece. I love Toy Story 1. I think it's really good.
Yeah, Toy Story 1's really good. Yeah, 2 is really good too, though. I think 2 is a really good fucking movie.
2 is pretty good. I really
All
like Jesse's story. That one scene about Jesse's like background is like fucking heartbreaking on so many different levels.
yeah, yeah,
Like even existentially, like growing up, like I see like my daughter in that situation a lot. It's just like, you know, she used to have a bunch of toys and then like she's abandoned them for makeup and like, you know, shit
yeah,
like that. Like she threw Jesse under the bed essentially.
yeah, yeah,
And that's a tragedy in my opinion. But like, yeah, 2 is really good. I think 3 is like okay.
yeah.
4 is
About
fucking
4,
weird. 4
4.
is fucking weird, dude. Have you
I
seen
like
4?
the fork that I like the fork that tries to kill himself a lot. Like, that part made me
Yeah.
laugh a lot every time that fork tried to kill himself. I thought was fucking hilarious. Um, but me and Thorny, we watched all 4 Toy Stories like in a day. Like a few months back, we had a day we didn't leave the house and we watched all 4 of them. And yeah, 4 was weird. I didn't mind it though. I liked it as good as 3. I think Toy Story 4 was pretty good.
I thought the ending was really
Yeah,
weird.
I can't remember the ending. They stay. He stays at that amusement park or something.
He like becomes
Woody
a
does.
I don't know what they call it, but like a toy that has no home or whatever. Woody decides not to
Yeah,
go back to what's her name? Fucking Bonnie. And he's like, Bonnie doesn't need me anymore. I'm just gonna be a rogue toy.
yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for Toy Story 5?
Oh, it's like got like a tablet or something.
Yeah, it's about tablets.
Yeah, I
Um,
saw a little bit. I heard tell about some of that.
I think it's a little late, you know,
Yeah,
like it's
I
almost
didn't
like
think about it like being late, but like yeah, that makes sense.
it doesn't it like it's like the tablet thing. Oh, tablet bad. Yeah, like we figured that out 10 years ago.
A while ago, yeah,
you know,
yeah,
like like we figured that out a while ago. You know, and now you're
yeah,
just now getting on this bandwagon, really? After the damage has literally been done and probably cannot be undone. You're trying to do some sort of message. That's why I really hope Toy Story 5 doesn't feel like some sort of preachy, like anti tablet affair. Or if it does it in a
yeah,
tasteful way where it's actually, successful. But it feels very late
yeah,
and like,
yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think that's a good. That's a really good. Yeah, if that's the angle they're going to take, is that like tablet bad, then yeah, it does seem a little late. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, granted, we don't know if that's the true angle they're going to take. It's just the trailer does make it seem like that at some points, but maybe they'll do like a switch. Who knows? Maybe the tablet ends up being good or something. Maybe it's a Toy Story movie, so maybe at the end the tablet comes around and saves them, and now the tablet is part of the toy family, and
part of
now
yeah,
Bonnie's playing with the
there's part of
tablet
it.
just as much as she's playing with the toys, and everything's good.
There's a Woody app. is that she found a Woody and Buzz app that she can tap the Woodies.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ending, I think.
That's the ending, yeah. The Woody Buzz
Is that all the
tapper.
toys are just on the app, and so they don't have to have any of the toys because they're all on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, it does some like bizarre fucking philosophical or like sci-fi ending where it's like Bonnie is actually like zooms out and Bonnie's actually in a tablet.
Yeah.
Like Bonnie, you've been in a tablet the whole time. Your life is a digital matrix. It's like I don't know. I think it's probably a good stopping point though for the first podcast. I've saved all this stuff under a folder called PSEUDOCAST.
Okay.
So that's what I'm calling these going forward is pseudocasts. You know, like because they're not true podcasts; they're video. But you don't have to watch the video; you can just listen to it if you wanted to. But it's also on YouTube, which is not a platform for a podcast, really. So it's not a true podcast. It's a pseudocast.
A pseudocast.
That's right. Like a pseudo wudo.
I think that was a great inaugural return.
I do too. I think it was good. I think we had good discussions. Yeah,
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it was good.
Think we gotta do some more.
We should do it just like once a month.
Yeah,
that's what we should plan. Or maybe like once every 2 months or something.
Yeah.
And they're not hard to make. It's just one night. You know, we just talk like we normally do, and we record it, and then we post it. I'm trying to be true to myself too. You've noticed I've used the R word retarded a few times. I'm trying not to like censor myself. Like if you're gonna get mad because I use fucking R word retarded, like I don't care. I wrote a journal entry on retarded that I sent you. I don't know if you read that. Like I feel like people have forgotten like context and all this other things in life now. Like and intent and like all this stuff is very important. And like I don't know. I'm just like I just don't like censoring myself anymore. You know. I'm gonna speak how I normally speak to my friends, and that's if you don't like it, that's don't listen, don't watch. Not like anybody's gonna watch this anyways, but you know, whatever. But it has been great. It's been really fun talking to you again for a while. I'm looking forward to your next essay. Whenever you're gonna write that, like what are you doing with that?
It's in the works.
Is it about Final Fantasy Tactics?
Yeah.
Is it? Okay, cool. I thought you might have done like a sneaky shift or something into a different game.
No sneaky shift.
Okay, still fine.
It's in the works. Stay tuned within 10 to 15 days.
Okay, cool.
Within 10 to 15 days. I will tell you there are 0 words written right now.
No. You sent me a picture of you like in the process of writing, and so nothing happened that night. Is that what you're telling me?
You know what? I ended up watching. I watched all of the Chair Company that night. Is what I ended up doing.
Dude, that movie gave me like a freaking. That movie's that thing's an existential nightmare, dude. That's like some Lynch shit. That's some crazy Lynch shit. Yeah. Like the level of anxiety and nervousness and like just dread, like just pure dread in that whole thing. Yeah. But it's like mixed with like some sort of comedy, so it feels very off kilter. It felt like real life.
It was weird.
It wasn't weird. It was hyper real for me, and I didn't like it. No, I didn't like it to such. I thought it was so good that I would not recommend anybody watch it. I know we're getting off topic and we're trying to end, so.
Well, it was good. It was a good inaugural return. And there will be more OCG goodness in the future. Got some more stuff coming. 10 to 12 days, 10 to 15 days.
15 to 30 days. 30 to 30 days to a year. All right.
Eventually.
My advice to you is just write bullshit and don't care how it comes out. Who cares?
Yeah.
Don't get in your head.
I think it's gonna be good.
Don't get in your head about it. Just start writing. I know that's easier said than done. I get in my head about shit all the time, and I delete shit that I write all the fucking time now. So it's like, I don't know. Okay, peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out. OCG out. Bye.
OCG out.